Right, hello everybody and welcome to Matt Fryer Golf. So I'm down at Warrington Golf Club today and I'm here today to talk to you about putting fundamentals and the putting setup and something that I think you should definitely be doing when you are, hitting a putt. So I'm going to give you a few little tips in this video today to help you create a more consistent and a more solid setup to help you hopefully hole some more putts. So obviously in the putting stroke there's a few elements that we're going to create. Obviously we're going to have our stance, our grip, our ball position, and then the way we actually hit the golf ball with the putter. So firstly I want to talk to you about the stance. Now it's my belief when putting that we need a solid firm base. A lot of people that I teach when I teach amateurs in the game, they tend to have quite sort of like jelly-like legs, as I'd like to call it, where as they're making the stroke there's a lot of movement happening in the legs. So the first thing I'd like you to do when creating your setup in your putting stroke is, number one, we're going to bob a cane down here, which is going to be the center of our body. So we're going to have a cane on the floor throughout the video that's just going to remind us where the center of our body is. Now there's no definite width of stance for your actual stance when you take it, but what I'd like to see and what I'd recommend is somewhere where it might be around shoulder width that feels comfortable to you, and that's probably a word that's very that should resonate really with you. It's got to be comfortable with you when you are taking this stance. But what we also want to see is that we're able to make and build a stance where we feel solid, we've got a little flex in the knees, and we're also bending from the pelvis. And what we want to see is that when we've actually taken our stance, our legs are nice and firm and they're not going to be able to rock around and move from over this center point quite a lot. So tip number one, make sure when you're building your stance, you're able to create a firm platform for you to stand upon. Now, number two, the grip. Obviously there's many fantastic and wonderful ways we see putters being held nowadays, and what we've got to understand that there is no correct way to hit to hold a putter. There's the claw, there's two thumb grips, there's traditional, there's people with fingers down the shafts, and again it comes back to that comfortability factor with you. What makes more sense to you when you're holding the putter? Now what I would say is something that you're going to be able to make a grip where you can keep the face a little bit more stable. We don't want a lot of rotation in the putter face. Obviously it's not a big rotational movement, the putting stroke, and we're trying to hit everything almost on a straight line and then let gravity take its effect with the brakes. So a grip where we would ideally see the hands maybe and the palms a little bit more parallel is something that I would advocate. I personally would say if you've got the flat of the putter, you want to see that the heel of your leading hand is going to be sat into that, and then I like to put my thumb down the shaft on there just to try and feel that it's locked in a little bit for me, and then my right hand generally sits under and locks in. I have three of my fingers locking in over my other hands, and then my trigger finger just sits on the back of the putter, again with the thumb just sat on the flat of the putting grip. Now the main thing when actually taking the putting grip is that we actually don't want to strangle it too much. A lot of people, again, that I teach, when they actually come to grip the putter, you can see the whites of the knuckles and the fingers when they're gripping it that hard that they're almost going to strangle it, and this is going to reduce the actual effect that we are able to have on the putting stroke. It's going to make it a very tense movement, and we want it to be quite a rhythmical flowing movement when we're putting. So I'd suggest, again, any grip that you feel comfortable with, whether it's the claw, whether it's cack-handed, but make sure when you are gripping it, it's a very light grip so you can really feel the weight of the putter. So we've got a good solid base, the grip we're comfortable with, a nice light pressure so we can really feel the putter head weight and we're not feeling our forearms really tense up now. Now the third part is your eye alignment in reference to your ball position. Now you'll see guys talk about you've got to have your eyes over the golf ball. You should have your ball eyes just inside the golf ball. Now, like I say, there's no set way for this, and the thing what you've got to understand is everyone's different, and like I say, it's the comfortability factor for you and what works for you in your putting stroke. if you can put better with your eyes just inside the golf ball, so when I were to take my setup to the actual putter here, and my eye line is now just inside this golf ball, just sitting inside it here, and I'm able to make a consistent stroke, that's perfectly fine. You might be someone who likes to see your eyes directly over the golf ball to enable you to see straight down over where you're going to be moving the putter, but it's not a given. It doesn't have to be in a set place. So for me personally, I like to try and get my eyes a little bit more over it, but I know that I actually tend to just have them ever slightly inside of it, so it feels like I'm over it, but I'm actually just inside the golf ball. So when we've made our good setup with our firm base, our good grip, and then it's trying to find where we're going to keep our eyes. And for me, like I say, I like to have it just feeling that I'm over or just inside. So when I rotate my head, I'm looking directly down the line of where I want to set that golf ball off. So I'd be good setup, firm base, that solid grip, but feeling that it's not too tight, and then just feeling that my eyes now are just sitting over to me, but they're inside, so I'm able to then see the line of the putt as I rotate. So the fourth tip I want to give you guys is actually where you have the ball positioned in our stance. So like I said earlier, we've got the cane that is running straight through the center of my body, and again, like most things in this video, there's no set position for your golf ball. Now there's been studies on having it further forwards, more central, back, and all, you know, will fight the corner for their case. Now me personally, if I were to be giving you a lesson, what I'd like to see is something where once we've taken our setup with this cane in the middle, and we've got our hands on the golf club, and we've got adopted our lighter grip, and we've put our eyes into the position where we want to see it, I'd personally like to see your ball a little bit further forward, so just in front of center. So as you can see here now, if I were to draw a line up through my body, the ball's just over this side for me, more towards my left foot, my lead foot. Now for me, I believe this creates a little bit more topspin, and obviously in a putting stroke we want to have a little bit more topspin because we want to try and keep the ball rolling along the surface and as close to the ground as we can, and eliminate the bumps as quickly as we can, so it's more on track and more on line. So for me, when I'm taking my setup, I have the center point here now, and I just feel that my ball is a little bit further forwards for me there. So we've got 4 points so far. We've got a good firm solid base that we're able to stand on. Then we've got a nice light grip, or with whatever grip you want to choose. Number 3, where our eye line is going to be, I'd like to see it a little bit more over the ball, but I know with me it sits ever so slightly inside. And then number 4, where is your ball position going to be? So for me, I like to see it a little bit further forwards. Now the final piece of the puzzle, guys, one of the biggest faults I tend to see when I work with my students is that when they've, you know, they can make all these great setup things, the things we've just talked about there, then as soon as they take the body away, they have these big rotational movements where they're moving off their center point and the putter's moving all over the place, and it causes them to patter the face, they don't strike it very well, and causes them to not have, you know, any real consistency in their starting line. So for me, what I'd like you to do, and something that I think will help you a lot with your strike and a lot more with setting the ball off in a more consistent direction, is once we take our setup with those good 4 points we've got, as you can see now, there's a triangle created between my shoulders and my arms, and what I want you to solely focus on is actually starting to work this triangle. So your legs are going to feel that they stay locked in position, and it's solely just this triangle now that's starting to work. So my spine or my sternum is still located over that cane, centered over here, and all I do, and a great way to do it, is just literally hands together and just feel that you're rocking this triangle now. So my legs aren't moving, my upper body, my spine isn't rocking all over the place. It's just solely this triangle I've created starting to rock. So once you've had a few goes of that, what I want you to do, take all your good setup points and then just get used to trying to rock that triangle. and see how that starts to work for you. I think once you get used to this idea of being a little bit quieter in your lower body and the upper body and just working this triangle, you're going to see a far more successful putting stroke. So again, firm base, grip light, eye position which is comfortable for you, ball position just in front of centre for me, and then let's just work the triangle. Nice, hold it. So guys, I hope that's helped. I hope it's something that you can adopt into your putting strokes. Hopefully you'll start holding more putts with it. If you do, comment down below. Is there something that you believe should be different in the putting stroke also? If you've liked the video, guys, do give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. Loads more free videos coming, and I'll see you soon with those.